Welcome to day 3 of the Coaching Leader Shift. How did it go yesterday spotting those mask wearers? I really hope it helped you to stop and think. Now we're on to day 3. We're going to be staying steady under pressure. Most leaders know what to do. They just don't do it when it matters or when the heat is on, so to speak. So let's make it real. You've had the conversation before. You know that you should ask instead of tell, stay calm, and not take over. But then the pressure hits. Someone is challenging you from above. Something goes wrong. Time is tight, and you feel it on the inside. And so you speed up, you step in, and you change your tone. And just like that, everything you intended to do differently disappears. So what's actually going on? Because this isn't about skill, it's about state. When pressure increases, your nervous system takes over. You move out of choice and into reaction. And this is where most leaders shift position without realizing it. Because when we are reacting, we don't utilize our best self. So let's have a look at the model. At your best, you lead from an I'm okay, you're okay position. You trust yourself. You trust them. You stay open, clear, and grounded. The I'm okay, you're okay model comes from transactional analysis, and it's one of the simplest ways to understand what happens to you under pressure. But under pressure, that position of I'm okay, you're okay can shift. It can move to I'm okay, but you're not okay, and you move into control. It can go to I'm not okay, but you're okay, and that can move you into avoidance. It can be I'm not okay, and you're not okay, in which case you'll disengage. And none of these are deliberate, but they are protective. Now, if we link it back to day 2 and our masks, what we need to understand before we go into what to do is what are the triggers that you have under pressure. It's often about somebody else's pattern. The perfectionist that won't let go. The people pleaser who won't say what they mean. The persecutor of others that challenges everything. Or the persecutor of self that holds back and disengages. In that moment, you react to what you're seeing, which is why this matters. Because if you don't notice your response, you'll match their pattern with yours. 2 people protecting themselves rarely lead to a good conversation. So what's the shift? If you want to lead with a coaching style, you have to stay in position. I'm okay, you're okay. Not perfectly, but more consistently. Because the moment you move out of I'm okay, you're okay, you either take over, hold back, or disconnect, and the conversation changes. Let me give you a few examples of how the model will come to life. Let's say you are going into a meeting with the CEO. And in your eyes, the CEO holds a position of hierarchy, which is strictly true. But you go into that transaction and you put yourself in the I'm not okay position and you put them here on the pedestal in they're okay. What happens in that moment is you start to show up as a little girl or boy. You'll feel it in your system. You'll feel unsteady and unsure. Your body will start to take over and you might go into fight, flight, freeze. And it becomes really difficult then for you to bring it back into I'm okay, you're okay without intervention. So when you feel yourself there, what you have to do is self-coach. You have to speak to yourself about the fact that this other person is just a human being and you've got the ability to meet them where they're at and converse. Bring yourself back up into I'm okay, and they will come to meet you where you're at. Now, the only time that I've found that that's different is when the person in this position is doing lots of shouting, lots of commanding, maybe even being mean to get what they want. So our persecutor of others style behavior. In that instance, you just coming up into I'm okay position doesn't always work. Sometimes what you need to do actually is meet this person where they're at and tell them that how they are behaving and showing up is not okay for you. That courage to be able to stand up for yourself and put in your boundaries brings both of you back into I'm okay, you're okay. So this is something that you'll need to experiment with, you'll need to notice, but it really starts with awareness. It starts with awareness of where you're at, where your position is, and then noticing how other people show up as well. And if you can relate it back to the masks, the two things combined give you so much information. But the key is to always bring it back to I'm okay, you're okay. So let's have a look at 3 practical ways to stay steady. First up, check your position before you speak. Before you say anything, ask yourself, am I still in I'm okay, you're okay? Or have I shifted into control or avoidance or into frustration? If you've shifted, pause, because anything you say from there will carry that position. The second thing you can do is choose your interpretation deliberately. This is where most leaders lose it. They make a fast judgment. They're being difficult. They don't get it. They're not stepping up. Instead, choose a different starting point. What if this makes sense to them? The idea is not for you to agree, it's for you to understand and then seek clarity as to what is driving their behaviour. Because the moment you assume negative intent, you move straight into, I'm okay, but you're not okay. And the conversation can become defensive or reactive. The third thing to consider is that you respond in a way that keeps both of you okay. Now you speak, but from a position, not from a reaction. And that sounds like, let's look at this together. Talk me through how you're seeing it. What feels important to you here? You're not taking over, you're not backing off, and you're not shutting down. You're staying with them. You're holding your authority without removing theirs. Now, the real truth here is that most leaders don't lose control because they don't know what to do. They lose it because they don't regulate themselves first. And when you don't regulate, you default to the control, the avoidance, or the disconnection. And everything you're trying to build breaks in that moment. So today, take care of you and notice this. When does pressure show up for you? Is it when you're challenged? Is it when things go wrong? Or is it when time is tight? And more importantly, what happens next? Because that's the moment that really matters. Stay in, I'm okay, you're okay. Now, tomorrow, we're going to look at trust because it's not something that you decide. You can't decide if you're trustworthy. It's something that your team experiences. For today, download the pod sheet, keep yourself in I'm okay, you're okay, and I'll see you tomorrow.